Good evening, everyone. As you all know, this was the birthplace of Dr. King here at Morehouse College. It's such a moving time right now between 5:50 p.m. and 6:01 p.m. That was the time that Dr. King was assassinated. So we're gathered here as Morehouse brothers to honor our brother Dr. King, as well as have the community come out and share those thoughts and memories with us. What we're going to do is, as you know, one of Dr. King's favorite hymns was by Mahalia Jackson, Precious Lord, Take My Hand. That was one of the songs that was played at his funeral. We actually took a trip down to Memphis, Tennessee this past Wednesday at the National Civil Rights Museum, which is the Lorraine Motel. Brief history, when Dr. King was assassinated on that day, 4 days later, the owner's wife died of a heart attack because of that event. It was a phenomenal experience for us as we toured the museum, as well as stood on the balcony where Dr. King was assassinated and had Reverend Jesse Jackson and everyone else who was with him. So at this time, it's a moving time for Morehouse College, as well as the rest of the world. So at this time, we are going to play a portion of what Dr. King himself was visioning his own death. He talks about, if anybody is around when I have to meet my day, tell them not to deliver a long eulogy. So the words that you're about to hear come straight from the mouth of Dr. King a day before he was assassinated. I've been to the mountaintops. So it's very remarkable and moving that he visioned his own death less than 24 hours before it happened.
About that day when we will be victimized with what is life's final common denominator. That's something we call death. We all think about it, and every now and then I think about my own death, and I think about my own funeral, and I don't think of it in a morbid sense. And every now and then I ask myself, what is it? And I would want to say, and I need the word to you this morning. If any of you around, when I have to meet my day, I don't want a long funeral. And if you get somebody to deliver the eulogy, tell them not to talk too much. And every now and then I wonder what I want them to say. Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That isn't important. Tell them not to mention that I have 300 or 400 other awards. That's not important. Tell them not to mention where I went to school. I'd like somebody to mention that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for somebody to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to love. I want to say that I had to be right on the walkway. I I want you to be able to say that day that I did try to feed the hungry. I want you to be able to say that day that I did try in my life to clothe those who were naked. I want you to say on that day that I did try in my life to visit those who were in prison. I want you to say that I tried to love and serve humanity. Yes, if you want to say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice. Say that I was a drum major for peace. I was a drum major for righteousness. And all of the other things will not matter. I won't have any money to leave behind. I won't have the fine and luxurious things of life to leave behind. But I just want to leave a committed life behind. And that's all I want to say. If I can help somebody, as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word song, if I can show somebody he's trying to wrong, then my living will not be in vain. If I can do my duty as a Christian, if I can bring salvation to a world once for all, if I can spread the message as the master taught, then my living will not be in vain. Yes, Jesus, I want to be on your right or your left side. Not for any selfish reason. I want to be on your right or your left side 9 times for some political kingdom or ambition. But I just want to be there in love and in justice and in truth and in commitment to others so that we can make of this old world a new world.
And I think sad news for all of our fellow citizens and people who love peace all over the world. And that is that Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and do justice between fellow human beings. He died in the cause of that effort. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it's perhaps well to ask what kind of a nation we are and what direction we want to move in. For those of you who are black, considering the evidence evidently is that there were white people who were responsible, you can be filled with bitterness and with hatred and a desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country, in greater polarization, black people amongst blacks and white amongst whites, filled with hatred toward one another. Those of you who are